Homelessness in America is at a record high, surging 12% year over year. Now the U.S. Supreme Court is set to take up the case on how cities deal with it, deciding whether or not ticketing the homeless camping out on public property, whether that constitutes cruel and unusual punishment.
Joining us now, host of the San Francisco Beat, Erica Sandberg, along with political commentator Richie Greenberg. Erica, broadly speaking, it's not just about ticketing and fines. This is whether people have a constitutional right to vagrancy. And the Supreme Court is taking up a decision by the Ninth Circuit of Appeals made back in 2022 that stopped an Oregon town from basically clearing up a homeless encampment. And it's gotten in the way of San Francisco doing the same thing. Erica, what happens here?
Well, we've been inundated. The encampments, the tents, people who come to San Francisco looking for services. Services typically include money or just to be left alone to do drugs and to camp out. And it has become this enormous weight on the city. It has horribly hurt communities, and it's hurt themselves too. We had a record number of people die on our streets this past year in 2023. About 800 people perished because people come here to do drugs. This is not a poverty issue. It's not income. It's not even a housing affordability issue. We're talking people who are have struggled with addiction and mental illness, camp here. It's really quite tragic. So we welcome the Supreme Court to come in and hopefully rule the right way.
Erica, I agree with you. It's not just poverty, because as we look at this, I was on the committee that dealt with homelessness. We spent a lot of money. It breaks our heart to see what's happening. But the bottom line is, the more money we spend doesn't give us better results. I look at this and go, maybe there is an answer that the vagrancy laws truly do matter. And if we had better vagrancy laws, we'd have less homelessness. Richie, what do you say?
Yes.
Well, yes, I agree with my colleague Erica here. The thing is that this is all a power play. This is a control of money. Now, the homelessness industrial complex, as many here like to refer to this, is the money from taxpayers comes into City Hall, and then what happens with it? It gets doled out to unaccountable nonprofits that are administering these homelessness outreach organizations. The money's going out. We don't know how it's being spent, but we can see the results or the non-results. And that is the reason why this all happened in the first place. Here in San Francisco, a year and a half ago, one of the more powerful, larger organizations, the Coalition on Homelessness and Jennifer Friedenbach, they're the ones that commenced the legal proceedings here in San Francisco because they profit from it. They get the contracts. They and their employees and everyone else that is involved with receiving funds, taxpayer funds, they're the ones that are administering these programs. They don't want to see it shut down. Now, ultimately, I do blame the city council, our board of supervisors, and the mayor, because they're the ones that are directing the budget. They're the ones that are taking taxpayers' money and giving it right to these organizations when, in fact, they should be freezing the funds. They're the ones that should be saying, we want accountability. We don't see accountability. Clearly, on the streets, there's no accountability, and it's hurting us, the residents, the taxpayers, the business owners, and the tourists. And that is a result of the ridiculous, this terrible, terrible policy. And this year, 2024, we're going to have our say, because in November, we're going to look at the mayor, we're going to look at the board of supervisors, and we're going to say, time for you to get out.
You know, the homelessness, war on homelessness hasn't worked. We see a year-over-year increase of 12%. Something has to change. Erica Sandberg, Richie Greenberg, both of you, thanks for joining us on The Bottom Line.